Well, he's a cutie pie. I might put him in Potomac. Okay, yes. Yeah, he can come right on to Potomac.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Richie Scott. We are back with another video. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel, and if you haven't already done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell button, because you don't want to miss a single drip drop of the news, commentary, gossip, speculation that we got going on this channel. We talk a lot about reality TV on this channel, and as you guys know, we love Housewives. So let's get into some Housewives news. And we're going to talk about a little bit of things going on with some of the Real Housewives of Atlanta right now. And then we are actually going to touch on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion for season 9 part 2, which was quite good and juicy. But first off, let's start off with what we got going. Oh, wait 1 second. If you guys haven't followed me on Instagram and Twitter, what are you waiting for? Please do so. Let's get these numbers up. Come on now. Having said that, let's get into the news that we got to talk about today, because Miss Porsha Williams got a new job too, y'all. And no, she don't have another Dish Nation show or nothing like that, and we're not going to be talking about Dennis or nothing like that today. We're actually going to be talking about something that's pretty dope that she's done, and she's got an ad coming out on July 29th with Fiber One. Yes, we actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago. We spotted her in Mexico, I believe it was, and we knew that she was doing some work with Melissa Gorga, who is from the Real Housewives of Jersey. And by the way, Jersey is coming out, and I'm hearing that it is explosive, so be on the lookout for that. But having said all of that, we now know that Porsha was filming an ad for Fiber One. So whether that's going to be a commercial, something larger, some type of larger ad campaign, I'm sure we're all going to see this on Bravo or somewhere at some point soon, likely on the 29th, as she stated. But you guys can head on over to her Instagram account and actually see the photos from her, Melissa Gorga, and actually Sonia Morgan from the Real Housewives of New York City on set, and all three of them are looking glamorous. Now, I'm kind of getting some Charlie's Angels vibe from this. But, I mean, you guys let me know what you think. Are you looking forward to this? Do you think that this is more the type of thing that Porsha should be doing moving forward? You know, I like it. I like seeing Porsha working. I like seeing her, you know, getting her getting her shine on. So this is all looking pretty amazing to me. Now I want to move on to Nene Leakes. So you guys know that Nene Leakes is now back into the mix with filming the Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 12, right? You also know that she's been spotted out at some of the events and mixing it up with some of the ladies. Okay, so this is good. This is looking like good news for the season, y'all. So I'm excited about it. We're not going to get another Lisa Vanderpump with Nene Leakes, I kind of figured we wouldn't, because she's a trooper. At the end of the day, Nene is a trooper, right? But as always, Nene is posting some stuff that's giving us some clues as to what's going on and who might be at the center of what she's talking about. At least we can speculate. You know what I'm saying? We don't know for certain, but we can get some context clues from what she's saying. So let's get into her most recent Instagram post. And thank you, Nene, for just continuing to give us great content for us to talk about and get into, okay? Let's read it. So now she posted this picture of her and Greg, okay? And so it says, Greg and I had a great discussion today about relationships. He says when a man steps out, it's because something you not doing right. Agree or disagree? He has to be kidding, right? My answer to that was bullish. I think he was trying to get under my skin. P.S. No, this isn't about us. It's a relationship discussion with other couples today. Hashtag life of the leaks. Hashtag chit chat. PSS. Hey, we are having another couples discussion soon. You should come over. It's actually really fun to me. Greg looks great, by the way. Okay, let's get into it. So, this is the thing, okay? I want to know who y'all think that was talking about. Because, to be very honest with you, I feel like when you're in a relationship and you're having a discussion about cheating, you know, you're usually talking about somebody, okay? It's usually a discussion about somebody. And if she's having a discussion with some other couples, I mean, hello, we know that they filming for Real Housewives of Atlanta for season 12, so why wouldn't they be talking about some other couples that might be in the room? Or who are a part of the story, the greater story of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, right? And as we know at this point in time, most of the ladies are in relationships. Well, we still don't know if Porsha's in a relationship or not because that has really not been disclosed at this moment. So what I want to know is, given in the situation that has occurred with, you know, Porsha and Dennis being in the news and all of the rumors and allegations, do you guys think that Nene was sort of referencing them as a couple? Interesting. It's very, very interesting. But then my second question is, if not Porsha, then who were they talking about? Was it even somebody on the show? I mean, it doesn't have to be somebody on the show, but you know, when Nene posts something, she always leaves us little breadcrumbs and we love it because we laugh it up, right? So what we want to know is, do you guys think this is something that's going on within the couples of the Real Housewives of Atlanta? Or do you think she's talking about somebody in general? And furthermore, do you think that she is right? Do you think that when your partner, whether male or female, and if it's specifically to men, let me know that too. When your partner cheats, is it because it's something that you are not doing right? Or is this more a function of something they feel like they need to do? Okay? Because it almost seems like, given what we know, so we look at people like Beyonce and Jay-Z, and even Nene and Greg themselves, because she has already told us this past season that Greg stepped out of the marriage at some point in time. So, you know, we look at a couple like Jay-Z and Beyonce. I mean, we all think that Beyonce is probably the picture of perfection as a wife, but what if she wasn't? What if she wasn't providing something that Jay-Z needed? Or do you guys think that he was just prone to cheat anyway? Or do you think that a cheater is just prone to cheat? Like, let's have a real honest discussion about it. I really want you guys to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts about this because I'm kind of torn. See, typically a lot of times the cheater will look at it like they're not getting something that they want in the relationship, which could be true, right? But then they also have to be able to express what it is that they're not getting, and then it's up to their partner and them to make a compromise to figure out how best to get them what they need in order for everybody to be on the same page. You understand what I'm saying? So there's that. But I want to know what you guys think. Is it, or does the person cheat? And if you cheated, let us know why you cheated. Because that's important too. You know what I'm saying? I think that this is a broader conversation that we can be having that's very, very interesting. And it really tells you how we all think as people, individuals, as couples, in relationships. I want to know, comment down below. Now, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the season 9 reunion part 2. Now, in this part of the reunion, Camille is firmly entrenched with the ladies in the discussions, right? And here's something that I was excited about because one, finally I felt like Teddy was getting called out for her part in this whole Puppygate drama because she was trying to make it seem like, you know, she doesn't lie, she doesn't do all of this, and Andy really confronted her about the half-truths that she told and the lies that she told to get out of the lies. So I was glad to see him confront her. I was glad to see Dorit confront her. I was also glad to see Dorit confronted about her part in Puppygate drama because if it wasn't for her, none of this would have ever happened in the beginning. And I think that's what everybody is failing to sort of recognize with this whole situation. She needs to be held accountable for that too. Now, does she need to be dragged in social media? Absolutely not. I do believe that she made a mistake that a lot of people make when they're not necessarily dog connoisseurs or they're not necessarily used to the process of how you adopt and move dogs through the system of finding them a home. You understand what I'm saying? But I bet she'll think twice about it now. moving on, I was glad that also Andy brought up the fact that a lot of viewers think that the wives were focusing so much on Puppygate in order to sort of cover up the things that were going on in their own personal lives, like the lawsuits. And I was so happy that Andy brought up this whole scene where this lady was chasing Dorit around the Bahamas, because that actually happened to her while she was on the show, but it wasn't shown on the show for whatever reason. And it was a part of what they were facing and what they were going through. So I don't understand why production didn't show that. They should have. That was something that was scandalous that happened, but maybe they couldn't get the lady to sign a release. But even if not, they could have blurred out her face. So, you know, we happened to see it just now on TV. Why didn't we see it back then? Because that was huge. It was all over the news. And all of these lawsuits that everybody is saying were cleared up, all of these things are still in the news. I'm just trying to figure out why they're trying to act like these things don't exist. And you keep saying you can't talk about it because it's a lawsuit. Listen, that's not true. You're saying you can't even say the amount when it's posted all over all of the news sites. So that's a lie. So let's really be real about a lot of this. What I see is a lot, and I'm so also happy that Andy brought up this whole idea that Teddy cannot let Kyle have an independent thought or a conversation without jumping in. And what I saw a lot of today in this episode was that these ladies are doing a lot of covering for each other, right? And I get it because they are the main cast members, so they don't want to sort of be pit against each other. But this is the Real Housewives. This is not like Sweet Valley High. You know what I'm saying? We want to see what's really real, and this is why a lot of the cast seems fake. It's because if you notice, every time somebody's called out for something, there's another cast member jumping in to their defense. And it's kind of like, no, let the person answer the question, because what happens is that person jumps in and answers in their defense and says something really nice about the person. And then they really never have to actually answer the question that came up. So I was glad that Andy really targeted some of these questions at some of them and really asked the hard questions, although I felt like a lot of them sort of got away easily, much easier than when Camille was asked the hard questions and all of them were able to sort of gang up on her. I kind of didn't like that. Also didn't like, Denise, you have no skin in the fight with Camille and anybody else at this point. So I kind of feel like you should just stay in your lane for a second and let Camille answer the questions that she needs to ask, because otherwise all we're getting is sound bites from you. And at this point in time, I agree with what Camille said. Denise, for the most part, came across most of this season almost as if she was barely interested or even recognizing what she was a part of in this season. Does that make sense to you guys? I mean, I feel like the two of the most interesting things about Denise per this season were her husband Aaron and her ex-husband Charlie Sheen. I think that Denise needs to do a little bit more next season and mix it up with the ladies and actually get into the story a little bit more versus just coming in at the end and then trying so hard to be relevant in the conversation with Camille. Because what I do feel is that they were all once again covering for themselves really, when Camille brought up that Denise said that she yells at her kids. We could clearly hear her say that in the flashback that the producers showed, yet all of the ladies acted like, oh my God, Camille's making this up, which is it's kind of like gaslighting her to try to make her feel like what she's saying is not true. And I, for one, applaud Camille for standing up for herself, because honestly, it's literally, the six of them against her. At the end of the day, I feel like, I'm glad she stood up for herself for the most part. And I'm glad that she was able to really express herself and articulate herself in a way that I feel like the audience is really gonna agree with her a lot on a lot of those points. With regards to her Lisa Vanderpump stance, I really don't feel like any of them can talk about her with regards to that, because it's just like when Andy called out Teddy for saying that Erica was fake. You're saying that she's fake one minute and then you're in front of her being her friend the next. I mean, you're doing the same thing. And it's like Camille said, clearly you guys all talk about each other, behind each other's backs anyway, and Erica even agreed that that happened. So it's like, why are you all jumping down her back? And at the end of the day, listen, I'm here for you, Camille, and your dramatic walk-off. I would have probably had enough at that moment too. But at the end of the day, I feel like what I don't want you to do, and it looks like you're doing in this next episode, is sort of backpedaling a little bit. And I don't want to see that, because I feel like if you stand strong in your convictions, which is another reason why we like Nene Leakes, because love her or loathe her, whatever Nene says, she does not back down from it. Right, wrong, or indifferent, I like a character on a show that can stand firmly in their beliefs and never crumble because everybody else is against them. That to me is a strong character, and Camille, that is who you need to be, and that is what you need to bring back for season 10 of The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. If they ask you back, girl, because you gave away some secrets about production that I'm sure they didn't want you to give away. When you said that production made them invite them ladies to your wedding, you just blew the whammy on the whole situation, and Andy was not here for that, because he's like, you have free reign to do whatever you want to do. Well, I'm gonna agree and disagree. I'm gonna agree to the fact that she might have been convinced to invite them, and that and that was probably the only way that she was gonna get it on the show. But I also think that if she had chosen not to invite them, they would not have shown it on the show. So in that regard, I feel like she had a choice, but I want y'all to know that it probably came with an ultimatum. And it just makes sense. Why would they invest in the money in a camera crew to film her wedding all the way in Hawaii when she's not even a main cast member yet? And the rest of the cast isn't there. So why do that? You already have Lisa Vanderpump doing her own thing, probably filming with, production group A. Then you have the rest of the ladies filming with production groups B, C, and D. And then they would have had to fly a whole nother production unit to film your wedding. That wouldn't have made any sense. So that's exactly what I think happened. But listen, they don't like it when you tell those production secrets. So Camille, you might be in danger, girl. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought about last night's Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion for season 9, episode 2. Let me know what you thought about Nene Leakes' post. There was a lot of deepness in that post, and I'm actually here for these types of questions because I love to hear what you guys have to say. And again, shout out to Porsha for her new gig with Fiber One. This is what we got for y'all today. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button down below, hit that notification bell button, and also be sure to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at DJ Richie Sky. And I will see you in the next video.